Welcome back. In this video, we will create a basic save and load system, and we will do other minor changes to our game. Let's get to it. The first thing we need to do is to go to the scripts folder and we go to game controller. Yes, perfect. Now we need to do a few changes here. We need to create a few new functions. Let's start by our save game. We say public void save game. And we say here, we're going to use a Unity feature called PlayerPrefs that allow us to save very simple things. It's only a key value structure underneath. And we can say, okay, with key A, I'm going to save B. It might seem very, very simple, but it will allow us to save the state of our application. Let me show you how. We will say PlayerPrefs, and we say send int. Let's start by root, and let's say that. Now we need goal as well, and we also need to save attack power. Perfect. So these are the three basic things that we need to save, right? Every time we do any action in the game, we either gain goal, wood, or attack power, right? But that's not enough. What do we actually get that we need to save as well? Exactly, trophies. Trophies is a bit more tricky to do, but we can still do a small trick to be able to save them, okay? So the first thing we need to do is to fetch the boss manager, right? And we can say var boss manager. We can say find object of type boss manager. This will search for boss manager in our hierarchy and it will find it, okay? Why do we need the boss manager? Well, we need a way to say, by the way, if boss manager exists, this is important, we need to actually iterate over the bosses, right? Because if you remember, each trophy corresponds to a certain boss, right? So we can use this same link to basically store a boss in a key and a value as the number of trophies, right? This is the basic trophies data structure that we currently have. Okay, so we can say for each var s boss in bosses. Okay, for each boss, then we do PlayerPrefs set int trophy, and then we use the boss name, is display name, and yeah, we store the number of trophies for that boss. Okay, and now what we have to do, not here, but here at the end of the function, we need to do PlayerPrefs save. Okay. Let's maybe add a safeguard here. Yes, if there is no boss, we continue to the next iteration. Okay, is it clear what I'm trying to do here? So let me put an example. We mentioned earlier that the PlayerPrefs is a key value structure, right? So what we are saying here, the key is going to be the key is going to be trophy underscore, let's say dragon, for example. The value is going to be the number of trophies that the player has for the dragon, okay? Another key might be trophy troll, and maybe the user has 5 trophies there. Okay, so this will be saved in line 76 here. Okay, I hope it's clear. All right, now that we have the save game, we need to create the public game. Sorry, the load game. Okay, the first thing we need to do is to actually fetch the value that was stored, right, in PlayerPrefs. So we fetch wood first, then goal, and then attack power. Okay, that's the first thing. And then what we have to do is to again do a very similar thing as we did earlier. So we say boss manager, we fetch the boss manager from the hierarchy, okay? And pretty much we do the same thing. We say if boss manager exists, we get the bosses, perfect. Pretty much that. Yes, we iterate over the bosses. We say if boss exists, then we get the value for the key trophy underscore boss name. So if trophy underscore dragon was 5, then we would get 5 here. And the last thing we do is to save these values into the trophy counts, which is, if you remember, we go to the top. This is the original structure where we have the key, the boss, scriptable object, and int the number of trophies. Okay, so this is a way to restore the previous state before, let's say, the exit or the restart of the game. Okay, so should be it. One thing we have to do, however, is to say, okay, we say private start. So when we start the game, what do we want to do? Oh, sorry, void, forgot. What do we want to do when we start the game? We load the game, right? This is very important because if we don't load the game, then we cannot fetch the data that was stored, right? And what else we need to do? Okay, we need to recalculate the boot per second, right? So every time we load the game and we store the trophies, then we need to tell the game, okay, now that the trophies are back in the trophy counts field, then now recalculate how much boot should I generate per second, okay? The last thing we have to do is to create a new function. We can say private void OnApplicationQuit. So when do we want to save the game? When we quit our application, right? We could have decided, okay, let's save the application when you click the button save. But in our case, we are saying, okay, we're going to save the application when we exit the game. Okay, so that should be it. Let's double check everything. So we have the start, the OnApplicationQuit. Then we have the 2 new functions, save game, where we save the different resources in PlayerPrefs. And then we iterate over the bosses to save trophies. Okay, we save here, perfect. Now we fetch, in the load game, we fetch the resources. And then again, we fetch here the trophies for each boss as we iterate here. Okay, that should be it. Let's go to Unity. Okay, now if we click play, okay, let's make this bigger. Okay. All right, we are getting some gold. Okay. Now we purchase the wooden sword. Okay. And now we can, for example, defeat Goblin Chief. Okay, we have one here and we have 0 attack. So let's sell again. And then, yeah, let's have 10 attack and 1 trophy of this one and a 10 gold. Let's stop now. And now when I click play, it should restore all the values. Yeah, 10, 1, and some wood and gold. Perfect. Everything works as it should. Nice. One issue I just found is that when we sell wood, the action log is wrong. So let's go to the script. Let's go to the game controller, and this line is wrong. Why is wrong? Because at this point, gold is the full amount, right? So this will say sold all gold, all wood for, in this case, it will show the all amount of gold that the user has. Okay, so we need actually pretty much move this here and replace this by wood, right? Why? Because right now gold is the same as wood in terms of balance, right? So 1 wood will generate 1 gold. So we can say here. Okay, perfect. That should be solved. Let's do a few other minor improvements. I think the text in our action log could be more interesting. So let's go actually to our action log here, and let's set the color to a hacker style, something like green, something like that. Yes, that could be cool. Perfect. And now our trophies, let's use the color of our sell button. Let's use this color. So we can say, we can go to prefabs, trophy item here, and let's change the text color, something like that. Perfect. We save. Let's see how it looks now. Okay. Doesn't look too bad, but one problem I see is that currently the trophies are a bit too much at the top. So let's change that. We go to the trophy bar, to the items root, and maybe let's move this a bit more down. Okay, let's see how it looks now. Okay, now it's better. Yes, perfect. Let's add now some buttons. So we can create 2 buttons, one for exiting and another one for saving. So we will see how that can be done. First of all, I want you to save the hierarchy. Okay. Now click on the canvas, UI, button. Okay, perfect. Now we can actually, let's maybe put this here. Perfect. Let's rename into quit button. Okay. Let's say quit. Perfect. Let's change the font. Okay. Yeah, let's anchor this button to the top left. Okay. Let's change it. Oh, let me move that. Press F. Okay, perfect. Let's give it now a reddish color. Yes, and let's give the text white color. Perfect. Maybe bold. I think it's fine like this. Perfect. Now let's duplicate this button and let's name it to save button. Okay. Let's move now to the right. Okay, something like that. Let's obviously change the text. Save. Let's give it a bluish color. Something like that. Perfect. Okay, now we have to implement the logic. All right, let's implement those functions. Let's go to our code, game controller. Okay, let's create a new function called public. Has to be public because will be called via button, so will be public. Void quit game. Perfect. And it will have just one line, application quit. That's it. We don't have to save the game when quitting the game because we already have it in this OnApplicationQuit, which will be called always when your game exits. Okay? So when you exit the game, this will be called regardless. So we don't have to call it here again. And then we have to create a new function. We can say, actually, no, we don't have to create any new function. So we can say clicks, we can call save game actually. So we can go to save button, go to the onClick section, please click plus. Now we move here the game controller, go here, and we click save game. Perfect. Now for the quit button, again we go to onClick. We move the game controller here, game controller, quit game. Perfect. So that's it. Now both buttons will work and yeah, we can try out. We won't really notice a difference because we already saved when quitting the game. But yeah, if you want to be extra safe, you can always click save. It won't quit because we are inside the editor, but this is currently saving right now. Perfect. Maybe what we can do is to be more explicit. We can create a log in the action log. So we can say saving the game here. We can say game saved. Perfect. So let's try out. Yes, it works. Fantastic. All right, that's it. Another thing that we might want to add is a new game button, right? Because right now we can quit the game, but we are not able to start a new game, right? So we're stuck with the original game all the time. So this is going to be very simple. We just need to go to our canvas. And let's say we can duplicate this, our save button. We can rename it to new game button. Yes. Let's move it to the right, like so. Let's change the text name to game, and let's maybe use a green color for that. Something like that. Yes. Okay. Now we can actually go to our script. We can say script. Let's go to our game controller. We can now create a new method in the game controller. It's going to be public. Oops. Going to be public because needs to be called from the button. So we can say public void reset game. And we can say PlayerPrefs delete all. Okay. We can say PlayerPrefs save. So we need to save after we delete everything. And now we can restart the scene. We can say scene manager, load scene. Then we can say scene manager, get active scene, build index. And that's it. One thing we have to do is to import at the top, using Unity Engine Scene Management. Okay. Now we can go back to Unity, go to our new game button, drag and drop the game controller here. Okay, select game controller, reset game. Perfect. Now we can test it out. Okay. So we are generating some gold. Okay, we have some trophies. Perfect. And we can fight. Okay, perfect. We get 9 trophies now. And what happens? We can save. And what happens if we click new game? Okay, good. So you see everything is restarted. So yeah, wood we started from 0, gold as well. We have no trophies. So yeah, our button works. Good job. One issue I found is that in the trophies section, we are displaying the bosses' names and not the trophies' names. This is something we can fix quite quickly. We can go to the trophy bar manager and scroll down. And here you can see we are displaying the boss name, but this is not what we want, right? We want to display here boss trophy name. Perfect. Let's play and see if this works now. Perfect. Now we display Goblin Mask, Orc Fang, and so on. So yeah, that's fixed. This is the end for now. You could add so much more to this game. You could create a quest system where you have to defeat 10 goblins chief and you could get a reward. You could add sound effects to every time you or the player presses a button. You could add progress bars when you fight a boss. You could add so many things. So I invite you to extend the game to make it yours. Until next time.